Today we're talking about content formats that every brand should make. Because if you want to win on social and not just play the algorithmic lottery, then you need to understand the formats that are working, the ones that are relevant, and the different levels and stages associated to every format. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 4 formats that are absolutely crushing on social right now and that every brand should make, no matter the budget, the team, or the skill set. And after watching this, you're going to stop staring at a blank content strategy, trying to figure out the different formats associated with different content pillars, hoping that it's going to work. We're going to eliminate all that guesswork. By the way, I'm Garcia. I've amassed over 500,000 followers and I've spent the last 10 years building a content studio that works with 7 to 9 figure brands, developing their content strategy and working with some of the biggest brands in the world. So before we go into the content formats, you need to be able to determine your content level. There's 3 levels here. So there's really 3 questions that you need to ask yourself to determine your content level. The first one is, do my operations break if I double the volume in the next 30 days? The second is, does the quality of my content drop if I double the volume in the next 30 days? The third is, does the team's skill set match the content that you aim to produce in 30 days? We've seen that if a brand's able to nail 2 out of 3 of these questions, then they're able to move on to another content level. If they can only hit 1 out of 3, then you really need to be spending the next 30 to 60 days building out the infrastructure. So as we go into these content formats, here's my advice. Execute optimistically, strategize pessimistically. Don't build out your content strategy thinking that everything is gonna go right, because the reality is it never does, and 1 or 2 hurdles can implode your entire strategy. All right, so the first format is a one-shot video. And one-shot videos are one of the easiest formats that you can execute as a brand because it is simply one single shot. It is one scene telling one story. You can create one-shot videos that are great top-of-funnel videos that get million, 5 million, 10 million views. You can create a lot more education, middle-of-the-funnel content, and you can even make great product one-shot videos. But before you start making them, let's go through the different levels. So level 1 is a lo-fi, single scene video with text overlay. So this is a great example from Heart and Soil where the founder is riding on a bike. He hits like an unpopular opinion in the text before they put the second part of the text. So when you execute these, there's really only one thing that you need to understand. A great one-shot video is a combination of a title hook, which is the text that you put on screen, and a visual hook, which is the visual that you have creating this single scene story. Then level 2, which is still a single scene video with text overlay, but now we're looking at hi-fi. So this is a more cinematic approach to the last piece of content. And the reason this is level 2 is not just because it's shot on a fancier camera, it's because there's typically other elements added to the video like sound design, color grading, and or some knowledge of composition. Like in this one-shot video from Tom while he's running on the track, he has another person tracking him on a gimbal. That person is probably on some kind of bike or some motorized scooter. The composition is flawless. The color grading is exceptionally well. There's really good sound design. Like all of these factors play into taking your content from very easy to execute to a little bit harder to execute. Then we have level 3, and now we graduate from one-shot videos to vignettes. And to me, I define these as these short moments that transport the viewer into the brand's world. And the best way to optimize this is to optimize either the angle that you shoot it at, the aesthetic that you're shooting within, or the action you're putting into the video. And About Blank is one of my favorite brands that does this. I mean, you could just watch this one clip of this friend pulling in on his bike. The friend behind him is already drinking his coffee. The composition of this, the frame within the frame, the payoff at the end where they dap up, like these are all little elements that make this vignette a step above level 2. Then level 4, this is one I added in here because I've been doing a lot of testing with this and it's been working incredibly. And this is vignettes with dual stimulation. This is where you're telling that single scene story, but there's another action or story being told in either the foreground, the midground, or the background. When you look at this example of Munibuyer, you have the model who is standing dead center of the video, switching through different poses, while in the background, there's an entire line of customers checking out and then looping around him. This is dual stimulation, 2 things happening at once. So your eyes are ping-ponging between the 2 different stories that are being told in this one clip. Real quick, before I go into the second element, I've spent the last 10 years of my life obsessed with social and content to now building one of the best entertainment studios that's creating content strategies and productions and social shows for some of the biggest brands in the world. I've heard every question related to content strategy. I've heard every pain point, bottleneck, and I've been able to work with teams to solve it. Over the last few months, I've actually packaged exactly how we work with brands, exactly how we get them from hundreds of thousands of views every month to millions and millions of views every single month into a bootcamp that's gonna teach you exactly how to build your content strategy layer by layer. And there's actually 6 layers that are essential to building a great content strategy that allows you to build a cult-like following. If you're interested in joining that bootcamp, getting all of those playbooks, the exercise, the homework, the feedback, then click the link in the description. We only really have 20 slots available. So if you want to be in that, you have to apply, and then we're going to choose the 20 brands that we're going to work with in this next section. Then the next format is 10-shot videos. And 10-shot videos are something that we teach extensively in Cut 30, and we've had a crazy amount of alumni hit hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views with the 10-shot format. And this is a specific format where you're telling a short, snappy story through the mix of like very fast and various shots. And no different, there's 3 levels to this. The first one is no text. Here, you're leveraging just pure visuals. And so because of this, you want to pick a very good sound that can go alongside these visuals and almost brings these visuals to life. And on top of that, you want to have very aesthetically, very visually pleasing visuals. Like this 10-shot video from Plaza Athena. Within the first 1 to 1.5 seconds of the video, you got 4 different shots. On top of that, they're changing the angles. They're leveraging all the different contrasts within the space. There's constant motion and actions, keeping you glued to this video. Then level 2 is a 10-shot video with text overlay. And the overarching goal of putting text within here is to almost like set the context with your text for what then the visual is going to show. One of my favorite examples of this comes from the brand Funboy, where they created a 10-shot video that has the text that says, "This is your sign to get an inflatable movie screen for the summer." But all they really do here is have the camera set up on a tripod. They rotate between a few different angles. They chop it up smoothly. Overall, extremely simple and very effective, as it has nearly 328,000 likes. Then level 3 10 shots, which is one of my favorites, is a 10-shot with narration. So here you're actually adding more pre-production layers to this because you're probably gonna create a script or find a really good sound that matches the story you're trying to tell. And then B, you're gonna have to create a shot list to match that. One of my favorite examples of this comes from my friend Brandon, who owns Blank Studios. And he does a phenomenal job of creating these 10-shot videos where he writes a specific script that is all about the process or the product that he's developing. And then he matches shots to that script, right? He's creating a legit storyboard or shot list to match what he's trying to create. This just has more complex layers because you have to form the story, you have to write the story, and then you have to match shots to that story. Then the third format is Yaps. And we've been teaching Yaps for Cut 30 for over a year, all the different levels of Yaps, all the different variations of Yaps. And it's one of the formats right now that is absolutely taking over social, but it works extremely well because it feels very personal. It feels like 2 friends just hanging out. And there's really 3 things that separates a good Yapper from a great Yapper. And the first one is their ability to tell stories, right? Are they a good storyteller? The second is your presence and personality. This is how you show up on camera. This is the different elements that you infuse that make you stand out from the other person that's just talking to the camera. Then the third is packaging. How do you take an idea and package it in a way that people want to consume it? But the most important one is your ability to tell stories. Even if you have no personality, you can tell an amazing story, hook someone and keep them there until the very, very end of your story. So before you start running through these Yaps, there's really 4 levels of Yaps that you need to look at. The first one is the raw Yap. This is you propping up your phone and just talking straight to the camera. And really, to be able to do one well, there's only 3 things that you really need to pay attention to: composition, lighting, and the title hook here. Because at the end of the day, a storyteller is gonna win with the raw Yap. And there's a lot of people that do this really well. My friend Lucas Pachter, who owns Haas, does a phenomenal job of this. He's built an entire brand on the back end of Yaps. Even Adam, the CEO of Instagram, does a really, really good job of these. Then we're looking at level 2, which is the graphic Yap. And now the difference between this and a green screen video is that in a graphic Yap, we only want to use visuals where we know the visual is going to elevate the storytelling. It's going to elevate the piece of content, and we can communicate it better visually than we can verbally. And I call these visual amplifiers, which are key visuals added to any video that's gonna help elevate a specific sentence or point. If you look at this video from Colin Samir, like they do a great job of adding in specific graphics here, even custom graphics that they're making. And again, if you dissect it, then you can see that these are visual amplifiers. It's a hard and complex thing to describe, but if I add a visual, it makes it much easier to understand. Luke Haverty is another great example of someone leveraging the graphic Yap, and so is Junk Garments. The third is a prop Yap. And a prop Yap is different than a graphic Yap because a prop Yap is where you actually build the Yap around the prop that you have. And so one of my favorite examples of this is Poor Boy Coffee. When he first started out, he had this prop Yap that he would break down the money that the company has made. And he would always have this poster board where he would reveal the different numbers. And this is a perfect example of just doing a Yap, being very off the cuff, and just using the prop to really navigate the story. Naveen Khanna is another great example of this, where his prop is the TV screen behind him, and he'll mirror all the different visuals that he wants to have on the TV as he just sits in his chair. Edie is another great example of this, where she uses like a bulletin board behind her. So instead of doing a green screen, she's using that bulletin board to put the visuals on there. That is her prop. Another great one is Brian Cochran, who's a great friend of mine, used to work with me, and he's becoming an absolute amazing creator, where he uses what we call as like a notebook Yap. Now the fourth and final level is the cinematic Yap. One of my favorite examples of this is Kelsey Powder. She's built an entire following. I think she's up to 1 million followers now by basically creating a bunch of Yap videos, but that are shot cinematically. She has her own like color grading that she applies to all of these, and it looks phenomenal. And a lot of times she's using an easel, she's using a whiteboard, she's using all these different props as she yaps to camera. Brian Kelly is another good example of this. His are more cinematic yaps where he's sitting on the steps of his house, yapping to camera, but then also overlaying some B-roll on top of this. Daniel Dallon's another great example of this. He does a lot of cinematic yaps, the composition, the lighting, the color grading, all of it's exceptional, but he's really just yapping a screen here. Then the last format we're gonna talk through is how-to/why we do it content. In reality, this is just talking head educational content, but there's something that separates it. It's not just category education, it's category education on top of something unique that helps differentiate you within a specific category. So I'm gonna give you best practice before we go into an example. I want you to start collecting all your DMs, all your story replies, all your frequently asked questions, all the comments on your competitors' content, and use a tool like Ask the Public to source all of the different questions getting asked within your category or around your competitors. Then I want you to answer all of these questions in a way that includes your positioning, your differentiation, your unique experience, or your contrarian take. In this example from Brownie's God is a great example of this, where they talk about why bakers don't use chocolate bars to create their products. By the way, if you want all of these different content formats put into a playbook, one that you can download and use and look at all the examples and exercises, then you could click the link in my description and you can download it right now.